everybody, I'm CBS News Texas First Alert meteorologist Demetrius Brown, and many of you have been wondering about when fall is going to begin. We can get rid of the hot weather and expect some cooler conditions. We've had an exceptionally hot summer and dry summer, so things are about to change. Hang on a little while longer, but that first day of fall is coming. So as we look at it, you'll see with the weather computer here in the screen, the autumnal equinox. That's the first day of fall happening on September 23rd at 1:50 in the morning. It is coming. Now, as we look ahead, we always talk about the change of the seasons, and it's all dependent on the tilt of the Earth on its axis. So when the northern hemisphere is tilted toward the sun, that's when we have our summers here in Texas. But for the equinoxes, like the autumnal equinox, the sun will directly have its rays over the equator. So that means we're going to have about 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness once we head into the first day of fall and thereafter. So something to keep in mind here: sunrise on the first day of fall at 7:16 in the morning, sunset at 7:23 in the evening. So that's nearly 12 hours of day and night, something that will be a little different for us since we've been in the summer months.
It's called the spring or the vernal equinox. There's no difference. So one way to think about it, I think, is if the Earth wasn't tilted, right? If the Earth was vertically upright, then the equator would get direct sunlight 24/7, 365. It would be a bit dull because we wouldn't really have seasons. But as the Earth rotated around the sun, the line of 0 degrees is where the sun's rays would be 90 degrees. But of course, the Earth is not upright. It's tilted at 23.5 degrees. And so what that means is that as the Earth goes around the sun, that subsolar point, which is the point where the sun's rays are directly overhead, migrates. It migrates from 23.5 degrees north, which is the Tropic of Cancer. And then at this time of year, this weekend, I believe it's 1:50 a.m. on Saturday morning, that will be the official start of fall or autumn, hence the autumnal equinox. And equinox comes from Latin, equi meaning equal and nox meaning night. So it's equal nighttime hours, equal daytime hours. The spring is exactly the same. It just happens March the 21st to 22nd, somewhere around there. One interesting question I get asked in my meteorology class quite often is, why does the autumnal equinox not occur at exactly the same moment on exactly the same day every year? You would think that would happen. And of course, it's because the Earth goes around the sun. It doesn't take 365 days. It takes 365 days and a few hours, about 6 hours, which is why every fourth year we have a leap year. So there's a cycle to when that equinox actually occurs. But within this sort of 48-hour period is when those sun's rays will technically be directly overhead.
Now, when we also talk about the first day of fall, many of you think it's going to turn cool instantly. That's just not the case. So I crunched some numbers over the past 30 years or so at DFW Airport for the first day of fall. Last year, 2022, first day of fall, 98 degrees for high temperatures, and 2021, 83. How about 2020, 70 degrees, and then 2019, it was 96 degrees. Now, one of the hottest first days of fall, back in 2005 at DFW Airport, 101, the coolest in 1995 at 68 degrees. When we talk about fall, we also talk about the fall colors, and it's going to take a little while to have those leaves changing here in Texas. If you're looking for some fall colors, you might have to go visit another state for that early on, but wait a little while longer here in Texas. It'll take until about maybe the last week of October into the month of November. That's when we start to see peak colors and peak times here in our area. So it's coming. Just hang on a little while longer for that too.
The change in colors is obviously due to, the photosynthetic process and the amount of chlorophyll that's being produced in the vegetation, and that dies off. And that's a function of sunlight, not really temperature. Temperature plays a role, but the daylight hours is what really is key there. So that's why, as we now move through this weekend, the days are getting shorter and the nights are, of course, getting longer until we get to December the 21st and 22nd, where we will have the longest nights. But I don't suspect that the foliage will be any less vibrant, no. So if you talk to meteorologists or climatologists, there's a meteorological first day of fall, which is actually the 1st of September. And this is the astronomical first day of fall or autumn, which will, as I say, will occur on the 23rd of September. And so that difference is really partitioned by temperatures. So you and I would feel the hottest temperatures. We would experience the hottest temperatures during our summer. So that's June, July, August. And then meteorologists will say 1st of September, that is when the meteorological or climatological autumn begins. But it's really only about the third week in September when we all run off to Starbucks and start getting spiced lattes.
And many of you have asked, how about this? Daylight saving time is going to end Sunday, November 5th, early in the morning. Set your clocks back 1 hour before going to bed. It happens about 2 o'clock in the morning. First Alert meteorologist Demetrius Brown here. Stay with the First Alert weather team for constant updates with your First Alert forecast.